folks, welcome to Myers Metal Detectors, located in sunny Tampa, Florida, where we sell nothing but fun and adventures, treasure hunting gear, and anything you can imagine for metal detecting. Give us a call, 813-237-1939. Happy hunting and dig deeper.
Live from sunny Florida, it's Treasure Talk.
Well, welcome folks to another exciting edition of Treasure Talk. And as you can see on my left there, it's not Jeff Monin. He's on his way over to England right now. So I drafted Joe Veazey, and he's going to follow the YouTube channel and chime in with any questions. How you doing today, Joe?
Great, Phil. How you doing? I appreciate you asking me to be on the show and helping you out.
Okay, awesome. I had a little rough start there. I didn't get my intros right, but I think we're live now. Are we live on YouTube?
Yes, sir. We're live on YouTube.
All right, well, let me get going because we got an exciting guest here, so let's get this going. Today's show is brought to you by your friends at Myers Metal Detectors, where we sell fun and adventure. And the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by the Treasure Talk guest and members belong solely to the guests and members and not necessarily to Phil Myers, Jocelyn Myers, Jeff Monin, or Myers Metal Detectors, and today, Joe Veazey. And,
Absolutely.
of course, the purpose of Treasure Talk is to promote the hobby of metal detecting and treasure hunting and to educate our members in a fun and informative manner. And we have an awesome guest today, and many of you know who I'm talking about, but he has found a load of gold coins on the east coast of Florida. And if you want to read about it, of course, it's in American Digger magazine. The story is in there. And I do have a copy of that right there. And it's Jim Tippett, and he's over in, I'll let him tell where he's at. So let me bring him on. Welcome, Jim.
Hello from the East Coast, Florida.
Before we get started, tell everybody where you're at on the East Coast.
Okay, I'm in New Smyrna Beach, just a little ways down from south of Daytona Beach.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, we're excited to have you on the show because you found the, how many gold coins was it?
Actually, I found 13 gold coins along with, I think, 47 silver.
So that was a load of treasure that you found. And we've got a load of questions already, and Joe is going to holler at when he gets a YouTube question, and Jocelyn's going to hand me the Facebook questions. But let's just do a little background on you. How long have you been metal detecting?
Phil, I think it's going on 13 years now. That's about the same time I've moved down here to Florida.
Oh, okay. And where did you move from?
Well, originally I grew up in Tennessee, but I don't have an accent. But just outside of Nashville.
Yeah, I was going to say you have a Tennessee accent. So you enjoy relic hunting too?
Oh, I do. I spend just about as much time relic hunting as do parks or I'll hunt anything.
Awesome. So when you're beach hunting, what is your favorite detector you use there?
Well, at the time I found the treasure, it was strictly the Minelab CTX 3030. And I still own two of them, and I still hunt with them regularly. And I think every machine has its purpose and place.
Right. And I know you mentioned to me that you use the Equinox also. Now,
yeah, I mean, the Equinox is perfect on what I'll call the textile beaches, where all the tourists comes and drop their coins and jewelry and rings, and so far I've been pretty successful with the ring count. I don't keep up with the silver count, but I think I'm up to 8 gold rings this year.
8 gold rings. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I haven't been doing a whole lot of hunting this year. I've just been too busy doing other things, but I'm fixing to go over to St. Pete, I think, next week and do a little hunting over there. I'll get in the water a bit. And there I have my Excalibur 2. I've got my Equinox. I've got a CTX, and I'm trying out the Tersace MDT 8000. You ever heard of that one?
Oh yeah, in fact, a couple of guys over here that hunts with me has one, and he claims it's better than the Equinox, but we haven't proven that yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm new to it, and I have guys over here that say they have both, and they say that when the coil is underwater, the Tersace is deeper. Whether that's true or not, we'll find out one day. But
It's a
Oh,
great
yeah.
machine.
oh yeah,
It just takes a little bit of time in the trade working with it before you can master it. As Phil, you know.
oh absolutely. So you're Jim, you're in the Central Florida Club, correct?
I'm in the Central Florida Club and also the Daytona.
Oh, Daytona Club too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, Joe and I are both in the Tampa Club, and I'm also a member of the one that meets over in Largo, the Suncoast Research and Recovery Club. But I think you learn a lot from clubs. How long have you been a member of Daytona and Central?
Well, I guess it was shortly after I moved down here, so it's probably been years now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, they're very active.
Yeah, I remember when you was visiting.
Oh yeah,
Florida. Yeah,
before the COVID thing and everything got crazy. Yeah, I loved going over there. It's a heck of a drive coming across I-4, though.
yeah, I bet it is.
Yeah, but and nice folks, real nice club. I always recommend you guys to people who live in the central part of the state to hey check out the Central Club because it is a good one. And actually, our club here in Tampa, we're having Captain Carl Fismer uh, be our guest speaker because the club's starting to get back into business again. It seems everybody's got their shot. So is Central starting to meet up again too?
Yeah, we've had two meetings since the pandemic or whatever you want to call it, but yeah, it seems to be going along just fine. I think we're picking up pace pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Now,
also the Daytona Club. We've met once so far this year, but we're scheduling them pretty regular now.
oh yeah, yeah. It's starting to happen. You know, we can do this hobby by ourselves, you know, and not have to worry about COVID. But it's always nice to have hunting buddies with you to metal detect and do club events. You know, because you learn a lot from the clubs. At least I recommend to new people into detecting to join a club because you'll get up to speed a lot faster. Now
Yeah,
you
exactly.
go ahead.
Yeah, anytime I meet anybody on the beach, and they'll ask me about metal detecting, or I'm sure you hear the same thing. Oh, I'm thinking about getting into it, and I always suggest if you want to learn about metal detecting, go to the YouTube channels, and you'll learn anything you need to know on those channels.
Absolutely. And also the Facebook groups. You have a Facebook group too.
I have a Facebook group and also a YouTube channel, and I think this would be a perfect opportunity to plug that.
Go ahead, plug it.
Absolutely. Go for
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, YouTube, it's Jimmy Crossbones, and I think I've got like close to 130 videos up. I'm looking for new subscribers, and it's growing pretty fast, but not as fast as I think it should. Another thing is I've got pretty much all these treasured coins on videos when I actually found them, and I'm holding back the videos until I get a good following for the YouTube channel to really actually put them out. So fast as it can grow, hopefully sometime this fall, winter, I'll start posting those finds on my YouTube channel.
So you filmed it while you were finding them?
Yes, I did. I've got just about every one of them.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. Well, you might want to be careful of your surroundings in those videos because people will hone in on exactly where you were at.
Believe me, I know that everything is pointed straight down.
Okay, cool. Just so you know, because people
Yes.
when they hear blood, it's like blood in the water. You know, a bunch of sharks will be there.
Yeah.
So,
Phil,
go ahead.
I have one question so far on YouTube, and Mermaid Treasure Hunter is wanting to know is Jimmy Crossbones your real last name? I know the answer to that, but I'll let Jimmy tell.
Yeah, that was another question before you get started. Is how did you get that name? So go right ahead.
Well, no, my name is James Tippett, but I go under Jim. Most of my friends call me Jim, but it's Jim Tippett, not Crossbones. That is just my YouTube channel name that I started 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's a cool YouTube name though, Jimmy Crossbones.
Yes, it is.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So when you get
And
to
I think one of the YouTube questions was how did I get that name Jimmy Crossbones? And well, like I said, it was 6, 7, 8 years ago. I don't remember when, but it was when the series Crossbones was on uh, whatever station that was, but it was a series Crossbones. And I thought, well, that'd be a good, username. So Jimmy Crossbones, and that's
Oh,
kind of
perfect.
yeah, that's perfect. All righty. So let's get started with some of the questions that came across my Facebook list. And first off, I'm always amazed before I start asking these questions that the people who come in who buy detectors from me and they're asking where they can go. I said, well, you go on the west coast of Florida. We can hunt out in the water on our side. Just the east coast, there's a lot of areas that you can't hunt in the water. And you're primarily hunting on the wet sand and the beach, correct? The dry sand.
That's correct. Yep. Between the low tide line and the high tide line.
Yeah, because the water's off limits. It's, I guess, leased to the salvage companies.
Yeah, it's leased by the Queen's Jewels LLC.
Yes. And what people really don't know is they don't know why it's called the Treasure Coast, and they don't know what the 1715 plate fleet is. And for the folks who are not here, because we broadcast all over the United States, 1715 fleet of Spanish ships sunk right off the coast of Florida. I guess it was 12 ships. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe so. It was either 11 or 12. I'm not particularly.
And I think 10 of them were found, and I think that's correct too.
10, 7.
Yeah, there's still a couple missing, and I think the Queen's Jewels are still missing, correct?
Yeah, I think 7 of them's down there in the Treasure Coast, and they don't know what happened to the other. I think one of them made it back to Spain, so that leaves 2 or 3 that's not accounting for.
Right. So that's why it's called the Treasure Coast, because all the ships sunk over there on the east coast of Florida. So that's why a lot of people like Jim and other detectors like to hunt over there, just looking for the Spanish silver and gold coins and artifacts. Because even the artifacts, and that brings me to the next question. When you're hunting over there, are you using any discrimination?
No, not a bit. I want to hear everything that comes up, and really the area that I was in, I was hitting several pieces of good sounding iron, and just didn't really bother them because I was really looking for at the time I was finding the coins, and I didn't want to take up too much time looking for iron. Although I have found 40 or 50 iron spikes and some bronze spikes, along with other artifacts that's related with the shipwrecks.
Right. Now, do you so you dig the iron also, or you just skip that at first and get the good targets first, the positive targets?
Yeah. At first, I was skipping the iron, and even after the gold, the sand filled everything back in, and the wasn't no more coins to be found. I picked through quite a bit of the iron targets.
Yeah. Now, we talked about this, and you had told me that you were on that site for about a week without anybody bothering you.
Yeah, I mean, there was people, with their dogs, walking their dogs and, walking by, but I don't think I've seen, but maybe one other detectorist wasn't even close by to where I was at. Of course, when I seen them, I kind of hid, and not revealed myself too much. So
That's a good tactic. Yes, especially if you're on the gold. Now, Now for the folks who don't know, they can see this story, and this is Butch is a friend of ours on the show, and It's the American Digger magazine, and I guess you can buy that the subscription. You can't get a printed edition, but you could get a digital edition, I guess, and still read that story. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, you can read the story through the magazine, and also Indentures in History. Mark Hoover has a story on his webpage, and even Treasures in America picked up on it and has it in theirs.
Yeah.
Jim,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, Phil.
Go ahead.
Jim, quick question. We got a question here on YouTube from Mark Thomas. And Mark Thomas is wanting to know who wrote that great article on your finds.
Well, that was Mark Hoover. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. He's also a member of the Central Florida Metal Detecting Club, and I reached out to him and asked him if he'd mind doing a story. And I don't really know if he knows what all he got himself into, but that article did make American Diggers magazine
It was
freelance writer of the year.
Yeah, it was the #1 story, the writer of the year.
Yeah, and I can tell you this from experience. Phil got in about 30 copies into the shop, and we sold 28 of them. I'm an owner of one, and I know Phil is showing the one he owns, but all the other copies sold out immediately.
Yeah,
So that was a really good story.
Phil,
Yes.
you still have those 2 copies?
yeah, I still got it.
I'll take them.
I have a copy, and Phil's got one.
I
We're
was
going to put them
going
on
to pay
the
an
highest bidder.
because I'll trade you for one of those coins.
Yeah, right. Okay. In fact, I took 10 of the copies, and I think Mark took 25 or so of the copies.
Yeah,
And I don't know about him, but I had friends and relatives that wanted a copy, so I'm down to just 1 copy, and I want to keep that copy. But if you
absolutely.
want to use those other 2, I'll buy them off of you.
Yeah, I'm saving mine because I just thought it was the perfect story, because I use it to shop, and people say, well, do people find stuff? Because they think you have to be a salvage diver, like Mel Fisher's gang or somebody to find gold, and you're living proof that you don't. You just got to do the work and get out there and look. And
Well, I mean,
it's exciting.
yeah, that just tells you right there. There is still treasure to be found out there.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely. I get to see it every day in my store. People bring stuff in they find. Now, they haven't brought me stuff like that in, but they bring treasure in every day just to show off and how happy they are that they found something. Now, did you get any estimate on the value of the coins?
No, I haven't got them graded or anything yet. I don't know if it's really necessary. I'm not really planning on selling them. I think I think if I do ever get rid of them, I want to sell them as a whole and as the Jimmy Crossbones treasure.
Yes.
And but no, not really. I mean, I have a figure that I think what they are, but I've been told from a couple of different sources that I may be undercutting myself on that. So, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good amount.
Yes, it is. I had just saw, and I hadn't posted it on Treasure Talk yet, or on the Tampa Metal Detecting Club page. I just saw Pawn Stars, and they had Captain Fismer on there, and he was authenticating a Ada Scudo. And for the life of now, this has been probably years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, but I can't remember what he said the value was. Do you remember that, Joe?
No. Unfortunately, I don't. But what I would suggest, Jimmy, you do with those coins is get them slabbed. Have them each individually put in the coin and graded. That way you can get the maximum one day that you do want to sell them as a whole. people are more apt to pay higher price when they are slabbed.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Would they slab a shipwreck coin?
I'm sorry?
I said, would they slab a shipwreck coin?
Absolutely. Shipwreck coins, definitely. You know, that place that we go to, Phil, the new location for our meetings, he's got some in the glass case over there.
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought the 8 Escudos are a very pretty coin. And I'm amazed at that. But I know they've got to be very expensive. And you can read the mint mark. Is it from Lima, Peru, or where are they from?
Yeah, the eight Escudos are all Limas, and most of the twos are also, but there is a couple of Mexico mint coins in there in the bunch.
Right. So these are from the 1715 fleet?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, on the two the Scudos, you have to really look hard to see the dates, but you can clearly see. I think a couple of them 1712, 1714, and the A Escudos. Just these coins are stamped just so clearly. You can tell they haven't been rolling around out in the ocean very, very much. They were clearly marked 1712.
Okay.
And there was one out of the four that was double stamped. It was 1712, and they restamped it as 1713.
Interesting. So I guess that's a mint mark, mint error then. So maybe that was worth more money. I don't know. But I understand you want to keep it all as a collection. That's just a neat find. I've got a question here from Facebook, and this is from Dan Forrest, and he's asking, are there any groups in, it looks like Satsuma, Palatka area? I guess that would be the Central Florida. That would probably be the closest club to it, wouldn't it? Palatka?
Yeah, I think it would be. It would almost have to be, or either that or Daytona, or all the way up in Jacksonville. It's kind of, I think it's kind of north of me, Central State.
Yeah,
Phil,
go ahead.
Mark Thomas over here on YouTube, he's saying that that Escudo was valued at $18,000 by Captain Fizz. So that's
was
quite
that what you were thinking on yours, Jim?
What was that?
The one they had on Pawn Stars was from the 1715 plate fleet, and it was valued at $18,000.
Yeah.
Was that what you were thinking in yours?
Well, I was thinking it was a little bit higher than that.
Well, that's years ago too.
Yeah, I went by the last year's auction book. Can't remember the guy's name that does the auctions here in Orlando, but what was sold last year, they ranged anywhere from 27 to 33,000.
Yeah, so that's a nice
awesome.
payday when you're ready to sell them. Yes, absolutely.
That's definitely retirement money right there.
Well, that's what I'm hoping anyway.
Yeah, nice. And just a reminder that Captain Fizz is going to be our speaker at the Tampa Metal Detecting Club, and that's on the 21st of this month, a Tuesday night at 7 o'clock in Tampa here at the ACCI building. All righty, and then let's see here. Tom Becker is asking, what do you use other than your detector and scoop when you're beach and water hunting? What else? What other tools do you use?
Well, that's pretty much it. We do a lot of other than sifter every once in a while. I use a box sifter to dump from the water, sand, rock, gravel, whatever in there into the sifter basket, and use the Garrett pinpointer to locate them in there. And even back during the treasure finds, I had my pinpointer, and lucky enough, I didn't hit none of the coins. But when I dug, the basket of sand out and dumped it, I went through the sand with the pinpointer. And again, but I dug those coins and got them all on video. I dug maybe one scoop, then I went down on my hands and knees, and put the pinpointer in the hole to locate the coin, and just barely brushed it to that point where you can see the glimmer of gold just popping up. Like it's almost like somebody put a spotlight down the bottom of the hole shining straight up at your face. I mean, just unbelievable what you see with those gold coins popping out.
Yeah, I'm sure it's an unbelievable feeling. I get that way probably when I find a gold ring, but total different feeling when you're finding a eight of Scudo, I'm sure. Amanda Adriani's in the house, and she says, "Wow, who's that hot guy in the Hawaiian shirt?" That was on Facebook, so I had to mention that. But yeah,
I think we're embarrassing.
She just made me blush.
oh, she did. He turned red. Yeah,
Yeah.
Italian turned red.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Man,
But yeah, so the value of those eight of Scudos and even the other artifacts has got to be, that's a tremendous haul when you think about all those coins, all the I guess you had some 8 real silver coins too, didn't you?
Well, actually, out of the 40-something silver coins, I only found one 8 real. There was just one 8 real, and it was dated 1714.
Are they? I noticed you didn't clean those. Are they as in good a shape as the gold? It came out.
Matter of fact, I did clean them once. When I found them, they were just black pieces of metal, and a lot of them was green, a real heavy, dark green. So I cleaned them just enough to get the details off of them. I didn't want to clean them like some of, the coins come out looking like a brand new silver coin. I wanted to highlight the details in it, and that's all I've done to them since.
Yeah, I don't think I would clean the crust off of them, but I don't think I would, professionally clean them. Yeah, I got one comment on Facebook, and Rick Tumbleson saying a certificate of authenticity would probably make them more valuable. I don't even know who. I guess the museum might do that, or who would do that?
The people that actually slab your coins, if you get it through like a PG CS, one of those companies that do the slabbing, when they put it in that slab thing, it's already authentic sized. So that'll be enough, unless you want to have documentation from a museum. But I would imagine it being in a slab already graded would do, suffice for it.
Yeah, Mark Hoover, who wrote the story, your friend, just wrote on Facebook, try 40K plus for the double stamped 8 of Scudo. So that was a nice find in the scoop.
Okay.
Thank you, buddy. I like that.
Absolutely.
Retirement money.
Okay, and this is a good question. On the day you found the area the coins were found, was there something that told you to slow down and hunt this area hard? That's a good question.
Well, that happened when I first found this area. I was digging a few modern silver coins, barbers, mercs, things like that. And I went back to where I left off at, the next trip, and I hunted around this little cutout on the beach, and it had a lot of trash in it. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and hunt this little area. It's getting late. I thought, I got enough time to do it. And so hunting that little area, I popped out 2 little pieces of metal, and they were blackened, but it was getting just dark enough where I couldn't really tell what they were. So I stuck them in my pocket. I wanted to check them out. So I detected probably another 30 minutes or something like that. And I hit this, mid-tone signal and dug it up. And actually it was the gold cufflink that's on the list. And I didn't think a whole lot about it because, I dig up gold rings quite a bit. I was excited about it. It was a piece of gold. So I just, I put it back in my pocket again. So when I got back, I got looking at it, and I called a friend of mine to ask a little bit more about what did he think about it. And he was already knowledgeable about the shipwreck and what comes out of it. He said, "You better stay in that spot. You found something that's outrageous, like that." And he said that is an artifact off of one of the missing galleons. So of course I was excited about that. And then when I cleaned up the two little chips of metal, they were both half reals.
Yeah.
So that's when I started hunting down and really, hunting hard in that area for the next few times, and started pulling up a piece here and a piece there, and even took my wife down there and gave her the camera and got into a pocket of it. And I think that one day I dug up like 16 to 17 2 reals out of this one little area.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so the folks know this wasn't after a hurricane. This was I guess in the winter time.
It was the winter time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because what most people don't understand is you're going to have a hell of a time getting on the beach after a hurricane, unless you live there.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you live on the beach side. First thing they do after a hurricane, they close down all these causeways. They would not let nobody go across them until they, the Corps engineers, I guess, checks them out and make sure they're secure and everything before they open it up. And by that time, everybody that lives on the beaches done covered all the beaches for any treasure that might have been left.
Right. Absolutely. So in the wintertime, you can get on the beach. You're not harassed where you're parking at. The gates aren't closed. You can get down there. A wind event or a nor'easter blowing the seas up isn't going to stop the parking. So they could hunt the beaches there then. And I had another comment on Facebook from Mark Hoover says, Rick, plans are to have the whole treasure authenticated and identified as the Jimmy Crossbones recovery. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to do. That's neat.
I'm hoping to get that done, but I mean, it's a big treasure, but it does cost money to have each one of those coins, graded and authenticized and like that. So
but it'll be well worth it to do that.
Absolutely.
You got something, Joe, off of YouTube?
No questions yet. Got a lot of people on YouTube, but no other questions at this moment.
All right. So these other two finds here. Now, the one is I can see is a ring. What is that other piece?
We're really not 100% sure what that is, but we think it may be a gold piece off a dagger or even a sword. I think it's called a pommel.
Okay.
Pommel. Okay.
Yeah, off that, but it looked like a ring when I first dug it up. In fact, I thought it was a ring. And then as I looked at it, it's, beveled a little bit more on one side than it is the other. So, it most likely. Or, first, some of the people that seen it thought it might have come off of a religious artifact or something like that. But, that hadn't been proven either.
So the pictures in the magazine, were those pictures that Mark took or your wife took, or who took the pictures?
No, Mark Hoover took all those pictures in the article.
Oh, okay, cool.
He did a fantastic job. In fact, that one of me, I don't know if I don't think that picture is in there, but it is on his other articles where I think that was one of the best shots anybody's, actually taken of me.
Oh, there you go. He's looking good. Well, this picture here of, and I really can't show it good on the computer, but that gold contrast to the sand, that's going to be one hell of a feeling.
It is. And again, I've got it on all video. And once my YouTube subscribers get up there, and I'm going to post all them, and I was lost for words. But I didn't say. Now I kept my mouth nice, but there was just very few words I did say. I was speechless. In other words, I couldn't believe it myself.
Yeah, I think I would have been speechless, or I might have been crying because I've been looking for a gold coin for 40 years and I haven't found that yet. Found hundreds of silver ones, found lots of gold jewelry. Just haven't found that gold coin yet, but I know it's going to happen one day. And it's all about the hunt, don't you think?
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's
I mean, I
about-
would have thought in a million years that this would ever happen to me. I'm just like you. I want to get out there. In fact, yeah, I found 13 gold coins, but I still haven't found a U.S. coin, and I really would like to find a U.S. gold coin.
Absolutely. Yeah, me too. So we talked about the East Coast there where you're hunting at, and the environment, the winds, the nor'easter, the tides. How much of effect was that on the location that you found?
Oh, very much. I mean, there was a couple of days that I actually had to get off the beach before I really wanted to because there was no, it was going all the way up to the dune, and you couldn't, you get splashed around and hit by a wave, and take a chance on losing your scoop or your shoes or your detector or whatever like that. So yeah, I mean it was rough.
Now, was the water over there on your side a whole lot colder than it is over here on the Gulf? Was the air temperature, a problem?
No, not really. It was I think it was pretty warm during that period, or at least my blood was keeping me warm enough.
Yeah, I guess that would do it. You'd be going on adrenaline.
It would have made no difference. It was 32 degrees. As long as I was popping gold coins, I was going to stay there.
Yeah, exactly.
But the wind and the water could make it pretty miserable weather-wise if it was real cold. But a lot of sand was removed from the nor'easter.
Yeah, matter of fact, I watched it as much as I possibly could from then on. But after the sand it got sanded back in, it was pretty well shut dry. And as everybody knows, Florida is real bad about replenishing sand. And I estimate at this point right now, there's probably 15 foot of sand over that same area.
Yeah, 15 foot of sand over it. So it's going to take.
Because they went back and replenished the sand, just past summer.
Right. And you had a week on the site before Mother Nature brought more sand back in to fill it over. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean there were some circumstances in between that time that couldn't avoid, that I couldn't get back to the beach, and time I was able to get back to the beach, it was over with.
Yeah. Well, that's really interesting about the location where you're at. You live not far from there, correct?
Well, it's about a 2-hour drive.
Oh, for you, it's a 2-hour drive. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were closer to it then. Yeah, I always say you got to hunt the stuff that's close to you, but 2 hours, I guess, isn't too far to drive. But it was well worth it.
Now, if I get there and get back in a day's time.
Yeah.
I think the coins that you found, Jim, paid for your gas.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll do it again in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. So for you folks who live over that way, you just got to scour the beaches and look for the right environmental things to happen to uncover some sand, and treasure could be there right now. That's what I tell people. It could be there now, but it might be under 15 foot of sand. Isn't that correct?
Exactly. Hopefully we'll get some wintertime storms and something will materialize back again.
Yeah, we have Terry Shannon. You know him, right?
Yes, Terry's a real good friend of mine.
Yeah. Now he lives in Melbourne, so he can look at the beaches from his trailer park. He told me, so he can look at some beaches rather, and he's found a lot of stuff just by watching the tides, the full tides, the full moon, the no moon, etc., and hitting the low spots. That's what he's looking for all the time.
Oh yeah, Terry, he can read the beach real well. he spent enough time out there digging lots of treasures through his area up there, and he's got where he can walk out to the beach and look left and look right, and decide if he needs to go back down the beach another 2 or 3 miles and do it again. But he'll find those bowls that he calls them and hunts them, and he's been real successful of it.
Yes, he has, and he's put out 3 books, and we have those in the shop, and we sell out of them quick, don't we, Joe?
Yeah, definitely. Especially his new one that he just came out with. We can't keep that one in inventory.
So I guess, Jim, you're going to have to write a book.
I'm really thinking about it. I think I've got enough material that I could put something together. I'm just going to maybe talk to Mark a little bit more serious about it and see if we can't put something together.
Absolutely, because when I read that story, I just was amazed at it, and treasure today is still found, and you're living proof of that. That's awesome. Spanish shipwreck treasure. Now, let me ask you this question. Do you have any worries about the state of Florida trying to knock on your door and ask for your stuff?
Well, I did kind of at first, and I did have to let them record the coins, but since that I haven't heard nothing back from them. So I feel like I might be clear of it.
Yeah, because I would be afraid they see that gold, they'd be wanting a piece of it. I'm just I know if you ever do sell, you'll have to pay taxes on it, I'm sure.
Yep.
But the tax man always gets his. But I was just worried about the state of Florida trying to take it too, because Mel Fisher fought for years, for salvage rights, and that was one concern when I saw those coins. But Gary Drayden always shows off that ring that he found, and
exactly.
They haven't.
Yeah, I think as long as you find it in between the high tide, low tide line in the so-called dry sand area, I look at it as finders keepers.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
Well, I look at it. Yeah, I look at it. Well, if you were around and you lost, you can prove you lost that, in that year, and come get it. But of course, nobody's going to be around since 1715 to claim it. So. Let me keep going down my list here. And Dan Graham, and Dan is actually one of the guys going over to England with Jeff, and he's saying, will you take me with you the next time you go?
I've got a long list of people that's asking me that.
I can imagine.
Yeah. I can imagine, man.
All right, now this person, Tom Becker, and he's on the show on Facebook. He's saying, how do you clean your coins so that they can be cashed in? But you're not going to cash in your treasure coins. But do you clean the coins? That's a good question. Do you clean the coins you find on the beach that aren't treasure coins?
Oh, yes, I do. And I've got, I think at first it was probably a rock tumbler, but I used that. I put, a handful of coins in there and actually some gravel to go in there with it, or steel shot, and put a little, dishwashing liquid in there and let it tumble for 4 or 5 hours. And they come out pretty clean enough to take them to the corn star if you want to cash them in. Now, I think somebody asked about the treasure coins and how I cleaned those. I used a 25% muriatic acid and wrapped them, each individual coin, in tinfoil and dropped them in that water acid mixture. And once the tinfoil has evaporated almost, I pulled the coin out and slightly rub it with a little baking soda. And that's how I clean those coins to give them the appearance that you see now. It leaves enough highlight and detail that you could tell, what they are without really doing much damage to them.
Yeah, you don't want to clean them too much. You want to be able to tell what they are, and you don't want to look like a shiny brand new penny. You want to have the detail and make it just look nice and be presentable as a artifact. Now, how about the silver coins? You said when you hit that site, you started hitting some barbers and some silver coins on the beach. Now, do you clean those?
Oh yeah, I clean those, just like, we would if we, found a silver coin anywhere. As you know, once a silver coin gets in salt water, it turns black, and the easiest way to clean those coins. Now, I do electrolysis to the modern silver coins, and that's the quickest way I found to get them clean. And they will. Depends on how long you keep them in there. They'll shine up like new money. And the newer silver coins, I don't mind cleaning them like that, because I usually put them in a book, or a folder or something like that to keep those.
Right. Yeah, just clean enough to display them and make them look nice so you could see
Yeah.
what they are. Absolutely. But I know if it was a key date, then it probably wouldn't be a good idea to clean it.
No. Yeah.
You're not gonna
I'll
find
probably mess up one of these days and do that and show up scratches on it or something. But
Now, when you were hunting, how many hours do you typically hunt? When you were on that site, I imagine you hunt all day if you could. Is that correct?
yeah, probably 5 or 6 hours at the most. I mean, I'm not spring chicken, so I get tired. And once you got a pocket full of coins, you think, well, I don't need to rush. I'll come back and find some more. And I made a mistake of doing that too. I thought, here I am, pulling out these coins and getting the idea. I said, well, I'll come back and dig some more tomorrow. The beach might not let you do that.
Right.
One time I was on a different beach, and I went there just to dig iron, and I dug what I thought was a kill pin off of perhaps one of the ships. And so I set it up up on the bank and planned on coming back tomorrow to get it. And when I went back the next day, of course, it was gone. And there were some other steel targets that I'd kind of marked, knew where I was going to dig them up at. I think it was getting dark. I had to get out of there. And I went back, and it was completely sanded in, and I did not dig them. Couldn't find them anymore.
Jeez.
Because you think that you got a good spot, don't mean it's going to be there the next day.
Right. Yeah, the environment could cover everything back in. Now, where you were hunting, how big of an area were you hunting? A football field size area? Half that? What do you think you were covering?
Oh, I'd say maybe 100-yard stretch.
100-yard stretch of the beach.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I've got another comment here on the Facebook group. Mark Hoover says, ask Jim about his most recent relic recovery. So what's your most
recent relic? I was hunting with some friends up in South Carolina just this past summer, and I dug a few 3-ringer bullets, and I hit this target, and first thing comes to your mind, oh, it's going to be a can. And when I dug it up, and it was U.S. breastplate, perfect condition, had the lead on the back, had the hooks on the back, just a beautiful specimen of one. That was recent. Now, I was thinking that Mark was getting around towards asking about the Maravides that I found several years ago. And it's a Spanish copper coin. And I dug it, and of course, I didn't know what it was. I took it to the friend that I was hunting with, and he didn't know what it was. So we had to do a little investigation on it and found out it was like I said, a Spanish Maravides, and it was dated 1474 to 1505. And the reason we know that, I found a copy of it, in whatever book it was, and it was most identical to the coin, and it was, I can't exactly remember the king and queen at the time, but that's how we come up with the date. That was the year that they reigned, so we knew that was that period of coin. And the special thing about it had two punch. It was holed twice, and it made me believe that it must have been a Spanish sailor wore that piece for a very long time before it finally one of the holes broke and he lost it.
Yeah.
But it was slick on one side, but you can see the dragon on the face of it just as clear.
So that's probably your oldest coin that you've dug?
That is the oldest coin. And I think it's probably the oldest coin that's ever been dug in Florida.
Okay. Interesting. And what was the date again?
1474 to 1505.
Okay.
And
That's
that
it?
was the year. That was the years the king and queen at the time, reigned. So that's how we come across the date of it.
Well, that's interesting. So you think that was that found on the beach or was that found inland somewhere?
It was inland. It was inland in a swampy area off the river.
Okay. So it could have been when the Spanish occupied Florida or whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah.
When was St. Augustine founded? That
I'm
was
not sure, but you think about it. That was before Columbus, so-called, discovered America.
right.
Because his was what was it, 1490? Yeah, 1492 when he claimed to discover America.
Yeah.
And this was 1474.
Yeah, I think the Vikings were here first.
Native Indians.
What do you think, Joe? Vikings were here first?
I got to vouch for Christopher Columbus. I got to hang with my paisano brother.
Now, I think the Vikings were here. The Norse were here.
Probably.
They were up in the Great Lakes getting copper and taking it back for tools. So I think I've been watching too much TV.
Yeah, you got your history down pat.
Or it could have been the land bridge that brought all the Indians over through Alaska. All right, so we've got another question here. Let me see. I just asked that question. Well, let's talk a little bit about your detectors. Now, on the beach, you say you use primarily the CTX 3030?
Whenever I'm relic hunting on the beach, it's a CTX 3030. But whenever I'm, ring hunting or coin hunting, I use the Equinox 800.
Now, why don't you use the Equinox when you're relic hunting on the beach?
Well, if you found 13 gold coins and 40-something silver coins with one particular machine, would you bounce back to another one?
No, I don't think I
No,
would.
I would stay with reliable.
Stay with what works.
I stay with low reliable. If I'm looking for Spanish treasure, it's going to be the 3030, and if I'm looking for rings and coins, it'll be the Equinox.
And the other with the CTX 3030, how do you find that swinging with that 18-inch coil? Do you think that's heavy?
I've got a harness that I use. It's called the swingy thing, I think. I don't know if you stock it or not, but it's
I know which one that is. I have a similar product, the Detector Pal. Yeah, it's like a bungee, and that keeps the weight off of your arm then?
It does. It keeps it off. Now, after, swinging for 6-7 hours, it does kind of start bothering your shoulder a little bit because it does, transfer most of the weight up to your shoulder.
Yeah. Now, have you ever used Minelab's harness that they have for that detector?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I haven't used it either. It's bulkier, and I imagine it could be a little hot if the sun's out and it's real warm. That might be a problem. But anyway, you said you used the stock coil, and then after you're going over everything, you try to get a little deeper. You put the big coil on. Is that what you did?
Yep. I've learned that 17-inch coil does go a whole lot deeper than the stock coil.
Yeah, I've found when I've used the large coil, I would hit a quarter so deep, but I'd dig a couple scoops out, and then it would disappear. Have you ever had that happen, and it's just deeper in the hole?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. It happens quite a bit, and I call it ghosting.
Yes.
Because it disappears, and no matter if the target seems like it disappears, you take another scoop out of the bottom of that hole, and it's usually there.
Yes. And I think what that is the ghosting, as you call it, is that coil is so big you can't put it down in the hole. So you've got 8 or 10 inches of air and then the wet sand again. And it's just not, they don't really air test that well. And then you're going back into the sand again. And the Equinox does the same thing with the large coil also. The
I haven't had that problem with the Equinox yet, but being on my lab, I'm sure it probably does.
Yeah, you get that air in there, and it disappears. The next scoop or two, it's there. So if you folks out there run into that problem of the missing target, disappearing target, it's still deeper in the hole, especially if you have those big coils, because that'll do that. Did you have another question from Facebook?
I know about his most recent find. Did you talk about that?
Yeah, we already talked about the breastplate. Now, what you were using your Deus for that, right?
No, actually, I was using the Equinox for that.
Oh, okay. And what number that breastplate come up?
I believe it was maybe 28.
Yeah, because that's probably stamped brass with lead background in it. Lead in it. Yeah, so that was a big target. How are we doing over on YouTube, Joe?
Doing good. We've got a lot, like I said, we have a lot of viewers, but no other questions at this moment.
Okay. All right, well, we're getting...
hopefully all those viewers will subscribe.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that, folks.
I'm right at 1,300, and I just went on a hunt 2 days ago with I Dig Daytona, and he said that he's thinking about coming on the show. I know you've asked him before, so maybe he will, and he's pitched a little bit out for me, but I know everybody would like to see these videos that I've got with the treasure coins. So as soon as I get a big following built up, I'm gonna start putting them out.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome to
definitely.
see that. Yeah, the guy from I Dig Daytona, I can't remember, what is his name?
Brian.
He digs or detects barefoot, doesn't he?
He does. I think it's one of his trademarks.
That must be, because I look at that and every time I see that I get scared because I've dug too much glass, too many sharp objects for me to dig barefoot. It just makes me nervous watching it. I keep thinking he's going to get cut or hurt his foot or something. And my feet, they always have to have some nice shoes on them. So I'm not going to do that. But yeah, that is his trademark. Well, it looks like we're getting close to the end, aren't we, Joe?
Yeah, we got a couple of minutes, but yeah, YouTube and Facebook folks, if you can please subscribe to Jimmy Crossbones' channel on YouTube, that'd be awesome. We got to show him some love. We appreciate him coming on the show tonight.
Absolutely. And your Facebook group, how many people do you have on that?
I think I've got maybe 350, not exactly sure, but I'll put it up where if you like to post your finds and
yeah. And you could put a link on our Treasure Talk page, to your YouTube or your Facebook. That's fine to do that, because we appreciate you coming on here and talking about that tremendous Jimmy Crossbones treasure hoard. That's what it is. It's a treasure hoard.
Yeah.
A treasure hoard. That's what Jeff is trying to find, a treasure hoard over in England. But has he asked you to be on his Treasure Tales show?
Yes, he has. As a matter of fact, I think I'll be on Treasure Tales on October the 14th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's turned out to be an awesome show. I like that.
Yeah,
I think it's a really neat concept that he's done.
Very nice formatted too.
Yeah, because you get to tell more exactly about each treasure that you found. But
yeah, I've got a couple more stories I was going to share for the Treasure Tales about actually how I got started metal detecting. I know we don't have time tonight, so they'll have to wait till October 14th to hear that.
Okay, yeah, it looks like we're getting to the bewitching hour because we try to keep it at 1 hour limit. But I did want to remind folks that Jeff is not doing Treasure Tales this week or next week because he's over in the UK metal detecting. And next week, we're going to have Vaughn Garrett and Steve Moore from Garrett Metal Detectors on. And you use any of their products, or you just strictly MindLab?
I've been strictly MindLab since I got started.
Okay, you do use the Garrett Pro Pointer, so that's
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Everybody uses that. Well,
Yeah.
Jimmy, thank you for being on here and discussing Treasure, and thank you to my Python over there with the cowboy hat.
And I just wanted to say I appreciate you coming on the show. And remember, there's a new sheriff in town. His name's Joe Beasy.
And thank you, Jocelyn, for helping me. And Jeff, when you're out there, find some gold coins. We want to see some Treasure Tales. All right, my friends. I guess we're going to call this one.
Thank you, Jimmy.
We'll
Thank
see you
you.
guys. See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye.
We'll see you, Joe.